How tawarruk is done. The bank will purchase the commodities from a supplier first sale and sell them back to customer second sale. This transaction is being used by many Islamic banks as a liquidity management and as a mode of financing, especially personal financing and credit cards. Tawarruk is a product that has sparked some debate. Certain scholars say the sale is not Sharia compliant since the products are not for buyer's use or possession. In the context of Sharia, there are permissible and non-permissible attributes as how to Muslim conduct their activity, and it includes economic participant which must be free from riba, gharar and maisir.
Of the Tarot contract. First, Tarot has been the most controversial topics discussed in the Islamic banking industry because this concept as an alternative to the contract bainah adopted in the early days. Second, the use of the contract bainah could not last long because it was rejected by most Islamic banks and also caused conflict among classical and modern Islamic scholars. Next, after Tarot contract is used to replace the bainah, and there are various perspectives about this contract among contemporary scholars. For this case, Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Qayyim does not allow to be used Tarot because they think that the Tarot should take goods to get cash and not to get goods. And last, after considering various points of view on the Tarot and Al-Inah contract, the Sharia Advisory Council of the Malaysian Security (SAC) has allowed Tarot and Al-Inah transaction to be applied in the Islamic banking institution, but it must be performed by the conditions set out in the Sharia.
I will continue to the definition, concept and nature. Tawarruk can be defined as an act to buy the commodity on a credit which is deferred basis and then sell it at a lower price on a cash basis to someone else other than the initial seller to acquire cash. Generally, the above given definition are the basic definition for tawarruk, which is also known as classical tawarruk, while organized tawarruk can be defined as the sale of commodity where the seller handles the process by which the mutawarrik acquire cash. Besides that, the nature of tawarruk is that each sale and purchase contract in a tawarruk is binding in nature and shall not be terminated unilaterally by any contracting parties that shall be a seller and a purchaser.
I will explain about legal requirement. The legality of using tawarruk in Islamic banking is questionable whether it is permissible or not. Some critics remain on the ground, claiming that tawarruk-based financial products bear a striking resemblance to interest-based products. The term tawarruk can be divided into two parts. The first is practical tawarruk and the second is organized tawarruk. Legal requirement of tawarruk also contains no riba. Murabahah transactions are not based on riba because both parties agree on a profit margin and the seller charges no other hidden payment to the purchaser. Nonetheless, some argue that there are differences between the profit margin in murabahah and the interest charged by conventional banks on loan providers. Tawarruk to avoid usury in the absence of hilah. The scholar will allow tawarruk based their decision on the hadith of Bukhari Muslim, who has been proven to support the tawarruk transaction when a farmer from Khaybar comes to the Prophet Muhammad bearing the best deed. This hadith indicates the legal trading needed to avoid usury without the use of hilah or anything of the sort because trading conditions were met and there was no usury in this trade transaction. The issue of tawarruk is not riba, and the correct view is that it is permissible due to the general meaning of the evidence and because it facilitated relief and enables people to meet their current needs.
This part I will present about Sharia requirements. The terms of Sharia refers to a set of Islamic religious law that govern aspects of day-to-day life for Muslims in addition for religious rituals. Tawarruk is one of the Islamic finance products as the deposit financing, liquidity financing and personal financing. These types of Islamic financing, murabahah and tawarruk as a product in the particular transaction. In Sharia, sale means the exchange of things of value by another things of value with mutual consent. The condition of valid sale outlined by Sharia are strictly applied before the sale or transaction has taken place. The condition is, first, the parties involved must be qualified and mutually consent to enter into contract. Second, subject matter or sold goods. Third, the delivery of the goods and the transfer of the ownership of the good, and 4. Price or demand. Thank you.
Operational requirements. Operational requirements emphasizes the need to put effective policies and procedures to facilitate governance and oversight functions, structuring, risk management, financial disclosure, and business and market conduct of Tawaruk. These operational requirements policy intent is to provide adequate safeguards for stockholders' interests, promote cohesive implementation of business and risk management strategies, and drive the development of the necessary system, processes, and control measures while maintaining Sharia compliance. When any of the sale and purchase contracts are conducted under Murabaha in the case of Tawaruk, the Islamic financial institution, which is IFI, will also follow the requirements of the Murabaha policy.
Operation and application in IFS. Application of Tawaruk in Malaysia about the permissibility of Tawaruk transaction from classical and contemporary scholar. Tawaruk can come from a bank negara with guideline and various publication was made. This can see they are contradictory view on the usage of Tawaruk. The amount of Tawaruk usage can see the limited data from the financial report of the bank indicating. Development Tawaruk show concern and recognition by some jurists globally. There are need to find the alternative for solving the problem of liquidity shortage faced by Muslims around the world. For financing activities, bank will provide liquidity according to customer needs and wants. Provide by the mode of commodity trading. Also, the customer pay in installment due date of the result of the credit sale by the bank. In conclusion, Islamic finance should strive hard to get better alternative and adhere strictly the Sharia guideline.
I want to present a gap analysis. The advantages of Tawaruk are it has no element of riba because riba is forbidden in Islam. In Islamic bank, the concept of Tawaruk also accepts profit but in the right way, like the bank and the borrower will be equally profitable. Next, Tawaruk is a medium to avoid usury. Since trading conditions had been made and there was no usury in this trade transaction, Islamic banking and finance make a way to avoid usury by making the legal trading procedure existed without any element of doubt. Lastly, Tawaruk is for the customer to get financial help without any element of doubt that Sharia forbids. By using the concept of the Tawaruk loan, the customer will make a loan that is halal in terms of Islamic law.
Now, I'll talk about gap analysis regarding this disadvantage of Tawaruk. Tawaruk is a hilah or trick to give financial help to customer with interest or riba. Hilah means trick, so it can be said as two steps, which is murabaha and waqalah, to give financial help with interest. Even though Imam Shafi'i and Sharia Advisory Council SAC has approved the use of Tawaruk, Tawaruk still receives many critics from many scholars. Next is Tawaruk as a barrier to risk sharing. According to Sharia, risk sharing is one of the principles of Islamic banking and finance. However, an article has said that Tawaruk is a barrier to risk sharing because the end user will pay it, including the profit, and maybe some rate or penalty if they late to pay the payment.
As for conclusion, contemporary scholars have given their approval to the classical Tawaruk. However, the practice of organized Tawaruk over the world causes a slew of issues. As we know, the widespread use of organized Tawaruk could be harmful to the industry in the long run due to Sharia issues. Therefore, the Sharia board must keep a close eye on all Tawaruk-based transactions, including the commodities of Murabaha. Besides, the authorized body should explicitly resolve the debatable issue of organized elements in the Tawaruk mechanism to clarify what is permissible and what is prohibited. Last but not least, Islamic financial institutions should work hard to find a better alternative and follow the Sharia principle and rulings on the use of Tawaruk in Islamic banking to the latter. That's all from us. Thank you.